Lads, we're actually in endgame already. We are, in fact, in endgame already, which is the most crazy thing to say. The most, genuinely most crazy thing I think I've ever had to say, but it's the fact. We are in endgame in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM, and it's the 8th of December. It is the 8th of December, lads. We're in endgame already. And everyone seems to forget about the way my team was. And people were like, oh, we got like 20 Hall of Fame badges in NBA 2K20. So I'm going to go and look. We're going to go and look right now at NBA 2K20. We're going to look. This time last year, this is the best point. This time in NBA 2K20, this was the best point guard in the game. For some reason, it's not even letting me search in NBA 2K20. There we go. In NBA 2K20, this is the best point guard in the game. 31 goals, 13 hops. You might be like, oh, he's got 13 hops. That's more than this year. There's a catch. You couldn't add badges onto this card. So you didn't get flexible release, which was an important badge. You didn't get the free throw badge. Obviously, you didn't want steady shooter. You didn't get, obviously, defense didn't matter. You couldn't get any of these badges if you wanted them. And you look at defense, no box, no brick wall, no heart crusher, no interceptor, no intimidator, no post move lockdown. He just has clamps. If this card was released today, everyone would call this card unusable because he can't hold XY, he can't hold post lockdown or whatever the equivalent of anchor is, rim protector. He can't hold rim protector, so he's useless. This was by that much the best point guard in this game when he came out. Do you guys know that at the end of January, everybody still ran this card? And this guy, Christmas of NBA 2K20, this guy was a point guard that people ran. People ran John Stockton. Couldn't dunk. People ran Trae Young with defense. We're shooting. People ran Trae Young, basically. People ran Trae Young. People ran Grand Theft Alvarado. Like, if you look at this card here, the card that this most closely resembles is Grand Theft Alvarado. It does. And that's what people used to run back in 2K20. In 2K21, this was the best point guard in the game until after Christmas. Especially on next gen. A 7 Hall of Fame badge, Stephen Curry. I know you could give him every badge in the game. Most badges in the game. You couldn't give him the equivalent of anchor. Oh, unusable now. Trae Young. So basically, Trae Young, 6Y is the equivalent of Trae Young, was by far the best point guard in the game. And now we laugh at about how bad Trae Young is. If in 2K21, Trae Young would have been the best point guard in the game coming out right now. In 2K22, we all ran this guy. We all ran Penny Hardaway. Diamond. 94 overall, 89 speed, 83 3 ball, a terrible release, and mediocre defensive stats. No, couldn't even get clamps. Did he have quick first step? On gold. He didn't even come with glue hands. He couldn't get downhill. And we were like, oh, this is unbelievable. And do you want to know how many point guards in this game are better than this guy? First of all, Lamelo Ball obviously is going to be better. So let's just take a look at point guards. Include secondary position. Gilbert's probably better. Actually, you know, Gilbert's close. Westbrook's better. Rose is probably better than Penny's way better. Magic's way better. Lonzo's way better. LaMelo's gonna be way better. Peyton's better. And Peyton's better this year than last year, and nobody uses Peyton this year. John Wall's better. John Wall's better than John Wall Flash last year, or he's as good as John Wall Flash last year. And John Wall Flash last year again was one of the best point guards in this game up to Christmas. Like so many elite ones, even like Diamond Magic. But let's look at LaMelo for NBA 2K22. So LaMelo came out on like the 24th, 25th of January. He came out in the Beast set whenever. He's gonna let me find the Beast set. Let's just go updates in 2K22. So LaMelo came out in the Beast set, and by the way, this year's LaMelo is gonna be way better than last year's LaMelo. It was the 23rd of January then, was it? Sorry, 21st of January. All I know is it was the day before Leeds lost 1-0 to Newcastle when they still pulled them at playing left back, because I recorded all these videos, then went to Leeds the next day and uploaded a bunch of them. But obviously this is the content we got, but like this Lamelo Ball, a lot of people saw as the best point guard in my team. This card here, yes, he had 40, 42, and 10. He had 89 speed, 89 acceleration, 89 3 ball, pretty okay defense, half interceptor, not the greatest badges, a useless dribble style, a base 81 on normal timing, a bad size of escape, pro. Whereas if you look at Lamelo Ball this year, if you look at Lamelo, he comes with Michael Jordan dribble style, Lamelo Ball on quick, Lamelo Ball size up. He's literally, oh, he still has the pro size of escape. He is literally a different size up away from being, let me put it this way. He is a different size up away from being Tim Thomas. And I get it. Tim Thomas has got a great size up. Tim Thomas has got Lamelo Ball release on quick, the normal leaner, the Jordan dribble style. Everyone's like, SIGs this, SIGs that. The SIGs that most people use, they are a different size up away. Like, they are the closest things. These are the same freaking card, except Tim Thomas is bigger and can't play point guard. I did not realize Tim Thomas had cold zones. Either way, it doesn't matter. Animations. Lamelo Ball, Trae Young, almost the same. Lamelo Ball motion style is better than base motion style. Lamelo Ball size versus France is way better. Neither of these escapes are that good. Crossover Lamelo versus Harden, similar. Moving behind the back, Dame is way better than Trae Young. So, I'm putting these guys as a dead heat in terms of SIGs. And like, Lamelo is, I can almost guarantee, like, if we look at Lonzo, Ball that came out, 92 speed, 92 acceleration, 80 interior, all of these stats. Was there a pink diamond Lonzo last year? I know there was an opal, and I don't want to compare it to an opal. There was no pink diamond Lonzo. But like, in terms of stats wise, this year's pink diamond Lonzo is basically last year's opal Lonzo. Like, they're incredibly similar. Like, they're eerily similar stats and badges wise. Obviously, last year's opal one had more Hall of Fame badges because he was an opal. He had 15 halves. But like, they're eerily similar stats wise. Total badges, you've got 49, you've got 31, 40, 42 in a game where there's less badges. So about the same, just not as many halves. And then again, so we're expecting Lamelo Ball to have probably better stats than this Lamelo right here. At least even. Like, if we're going to get this card, and even if we get this card, people are like, oh, he's going to be worse than Penny. Like, it's freaking Tim Thomas 2.0. And like, there's an argument to be made both sides, by the way. This is me giving my preference. This isn't like a whole thing, this isn't the whole thing with me saying that this Lamelo Ball is the worst thing ever is that we're getting Lamelo Ball tomorrow, because I don't think Lamelo Ball in isolation is a bad thing. We already have Tim Thomas, so it makes absolutely no difference. We've been in endgame since today we got Tim Thomas. Everyone that's so hyped about Tracy McGrady, if you've ever used Tracy McGrady's release in this game, you guys know Tracy McGrady's not Tracy McGrady. He is not, like, this is Tracy McGrady. He's not T-Mac. The way people always thought, who was better, like, everyone talks about, like, 2K20 T-Mac. This guy, he's not T-Mac. He is Tracy McGrady. That release that they mocapped is so ass. Like, DeMar DeRozan is the real T-Mac this year. DeMar DeRozan is that guy. But LaMelo is basically a demigod. Like, I always say it, like, when you give a card all the gold badges you need, and when you give a card, like, he's already got close to perfect SIGs. He's the best behind the back in the game, the best dribble style in the game, the best release in the game, the best leaner in the game when it's on quick. He's already, this is a card that you're going to be able to use at the very end of the year. And I get it. There's actually positives and negatives to this. Like, the positives is that if you want to pick up a card now and pay 300-400k for him, you're going to be able to use this guy for months and months. But the negatives is that 2K always has to outdo themselves, and we all know that. So when we start to see cards like this, we know it's only a matter of time until we see a card that outdoes LaMelo Ball, until we see cards that outdo this. So whereas Tim Thomas was a card that we normally used to see in February or March, the first card that had SIGs like Tim Thomas in NBA 2K22 was Seti Maxwell, who came out in March. He was probably the first card we saw that was the equivalent of Tim Thomas. This LaMelo Ball is going to be the equivalent of like Cade Cunningham that came out last year, because LaMelo SIGs are basically perfect. So we're looking at pacing of a game that's 2 to 3 months ahead of where it was this time last year in terms of cards. Like, by the time Gary Payton was the 15th best point guard in the game, we were in March or April last year. No, we were in March, season 5. The like late January to like mid-March is where we normally see the like huge bursts in players. We normally see some pacing up to then, but like now it's literally a case of 1 through 5 demigods. 1 through 5 on your bench, demigods. With Sean Livingston in the game and Diamond Magic Johnson, even if you're using a quote-unquote affordable squad, you can run demigods 1 through 5. Get yourself Diamond Tracy McGrady at the 2. Get yourself freaking Hedo at the 3. I'm trying to think of other guys that can play there. Like Zaire. Like there's so many like mid-tier 25k cards. Rudy Gay, 40k. Like you can buy 3. You can buy a 250k demigod squad. You can buy a 500k demigod squad. We're running all demigods. No matter what your budget's at, we're running all demigods. You're like, oh, but these guys don't have like 80 half badges. I'm gonna let you guys in the secret. If you get 99 stats and everything and you get 20 golds, 60 halves, or 80 halves, they're not gonna feel that different. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the trophy case messed up everything pacing wise, because obviously 2K have to constantly outdo what we have to get people to open packs. And when we got cards in the trophy case were better than cards we got last Christmas, they obviously are going to have to start releasing demigods to get people to open packs. And it was just badly thought out. It was really, really badly thought out, the trophy case. And it has caused what I believe is a horrible thing for the game. But you might argue it's a good thing. If you just want to go out there and use Soup Sigs players for as long as you can, this is actually a good thing. This is actually a really good thing. So don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that this is an objectively bad thing. I'm sitting here saying I don't like it, but I'm not sitting here saying it's an objectively bad thing. But this Lamelo Ball card is as good as a card we would have got from March last year. Tim Thomas is better than any card we saw pre-Cedric Maxwell last year. Like, who's our next Tim Thomas going to be? Like, I would be shocked if Tim Thomas still runs in actual 250k tournaments. Like, we are legitimately going to be running with 5 demigods. Half badges don't mean anything. And you're like, oh, they're keeping up with like 7 halves. We were getting like 10 half badge cards last year. It's like, first of all, half badges are being given out like they're nothing. So any decent card you're seeing 30 half badge cards everywhere. Even more so than last year. And then also, like, there's less badges. So 15 half badges now is equivalent to 20 last year. Because there's just significantly less badges in the game. But I don't know. The pacing, I actually tweeted out something and I kind of regret it, because I tweeted out saying, we already have full demigod lineups at the start of December and people still say pacing is good. But if all you want is to just run with my players for the whole year, pacing's perfect. Because Ricky Davis, Lamelo Ball, Tim Thomas are all not quite my players, but they're close. They're close. And for a lot of people, if you don't know how to use, like, how to burst, how to size up really well, or you don't know how to crowd people with escapes, they're my players. All 3 of these guys are my players. Minus maybe 1 sig, which is a bit of a weird one. Like, in NBA 2K 2020, we didn't see a my player till freaking Dwayne Wade, who came out in February. In 2K22, we didn't see a my player. I'm not even going to say we didn't see a my player till Jordan, which is the 25th of March. But then obviously we had Luka Glitchy Luka, who just didn't get contested. That was a weird one. And then in NBA 2K21, we didn't see one till the end of January. But in NBA 2K23, we have 3 my players at the 1, 2, and 3 position. And you don't need a my player at the 4 and the 5. We've also got a 6'11" shooting Dwight Howard who plays defense and can handle the ball. And like 5 unbelievable 7-foot tall shooting interior dominating defensive centers. This is a game of demigods. Like, we are already in endgame. And I just want to make that very clear. Like, we are already in endgame. And you might, like, the cards can't get that much better than they are right now. And I get it. You'll be like, oh yeah, but like, when we get like these 80 half badge endgame cards, we're getting those cards in May, by the way. Like, we're getting Invincibles in April. We're getting endgames in May. Otherwise, there's going to be that dead period in February where they don't know what they're doing. Because we just have so many pink diamonds. Like, this time last year, I was running my team. This time last year, I got freaking Peyton. I went 50-2 in clutch time. My team was like Gary Payton at the 1, Eddie Jones Amethyst at the 2, Mikal Bridges Amethyst at the 3, Kevin Garnett at the... Or John Collins at the 4. Kevin Garnett at the 5. And my team was nice back then. I'm sorry, like, that team was nice. That team could get the job done. And, like, I'm running a token card. A freaking Kevin Garnett, who's worse than this year's Kevin Garnett. In fact, he's worse than this year's. And I was running him. And I was running 2 amethyst cards. And I was having the time of my freaking life. But now this year, if you're not running 5 pink diamonds, my God, lads, you're screwed. There's like, there are exceptions. Stephon Marbury, Anthony Simons. Stephon Marbury is better than any point guard we saw this time last year. Anthony Simons is better than like 90% of the point guards we saw this time last year. And then there is, I don't know, like freaking Rudy Gay and stuff. These 50k cards, a lot of those that are good. But I don't know, lads. The way the game is being played right now, the way players are moving, we've already essentially seen our my players. The way people are running with their Lamelo balls and stuff, we've already seen it. We're in the stage of the game where it's endgame-esque. Where if you come up against someone with a god squad, they'll play the exact same way as they will in endgame, unless there's a new exploit that's found. Because every card that's coming out now that isn't able to do everything is a scrub. Trae Young this time last year would have been a top 4 point guard. Nah. Top 10 point guard in the game. He's not top 30 this year. Trae Young and NBA 2K21 would have been a top 5 point guard in the game. But right now, absolutely worthless. If a card has a weakness, they're worthless. Heck, if a point guard doesn't come with anchor, people call them worthless. That's a post-defensive badge. If a point guard doesn't come with a post-defensive badge, people call them worthless in this game. That is how good cards are. That people are nitpicking point guards with post-defensive badges. If you, like... I knew this game was going to be compified more as the years gone on, but this year is ludicrous. It's ludicrous, lads, and we're already entering endgame. If this is the time of the year that you guys love, trust me, you're going to have a great time. If you are the type of person that kind of dreads endgame, you probably should have quit like 3 weeks ago. But I'm just explaining it as it is. At the end of the day, there are positives and negatives. It's all preference. Whether you prefer fantasy basketball or whether you prefer somewhat realism, is all preference. Me personally, I like when it goes full fantasy, which it kind of has now, but I like, say, playing like 4 or 5 months of kind of realism and then playing like 5 or 6 months of like hyper fantasy. However, for me, it's kind of went hyper fantasy a little bit too early, so that's kind of my actual opinion of it. And I don't know, it's just I don't know. I think there is definitely a thing that I do have a negative viewpoint of this game as a whole, which is probably making me look more critically at individual things that have happened such as this. But at the same time, I am able to take a step back and look at it from the perspective of other people. Like guys like Unbeatable Jacob, all they want to do is just run out with the my players and cook people with guys with the best SIGs. And if that's what you want to do, it actually might be getting better, because it's only a matter of time until we start to see budget players with these SIGs. And I think that's why they didn't make Lamelo Ball like the headliner, because even if Lamelo Ball was a shooting guard, he would just have cracked SIGs. That's probably why they made Tracy McGrady a power forward. But anyway, yeah, that is the video, lads. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Or do you guys like it or not like it? There's no agreement or disagreement. We're in endgame. We are in endgame. Like, we're pretty much in endgame. We've got 3 my players, and you don't need, like, your power forward and center don't need to be my players. Actually, you know what? We've got 3 my players and a power forward and center that are better than anything you can make on a my player. So yeah, we've got 5 my players in your starting lineup right now. So it is endgame. Whether you like it or not is up to you. I'm not gonna try to sway your opinion on it, but we're in endgame now, lads. We're really in endgame, and it's the 8th of December.